Since the beginning of mankind, the spoils of the oceans, seas, and rivers have been a source of life and sustenance for all the people of the world. Just off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, the Chesapeake Bay is the largest estuary in the United States. Its once plentiful bounty is now on a steady decline as watermen, sport fishermen, and concerned interest groups continue to cultivate, harvest, and work to save the Chesapeake Bay. My first memory of fishing is being with my dad and granddad on a concrete platform below the Center Street Dam on the Des Moines River in Iowa when I was 4 years old. As soon as my baited hook hit the water, there was a tug and a pull, and I yanked out a big, wiggling, silvery fish. My granddad said it was a crappie as he unhooked my catch, dropped it into a bucket, and once again baited my hook. I don't think Droopy, my grandfather, ever got a chance to fish that day for tending to me, but he was already a great and tested fisherman who had caught more and even bigger fish than the plentiful little crappie found in the Des Moines River. My father, like his father, was also a great angler. Actually, he was a catcher of fish by a variety of methods. Fishing, snagging, gigging, seining, netting, clubbing, ditty poles, ditty lines, limb lines. You name it, he did it, and mostly within the limits of the law. While looking through the family photo albums for this project, this is the only photo I could find with me even near a fish as a kid. When I asked my dad why there were no pictures of me with a fishing pole in my hand, he told me, "You were too busy throwing rocks in the water." Today, I love to fish. I crave fishing. I can't pass a body of water without looking to see if there is some lucky soul out there catching a fish and wishing it could be me. In the fall of 1990, I moved to the East Coast and for 14 years tried fishing from land at places like Haines Point, Wason's Corner, Fort Washington, and Allen's Fresh. Sometimes I caught fish, but too many times I didn't, until a neighbor invited me to go fishing across the Bay Bridge out of Kent Narrows, and that's when I first discovered the black captains of the Chesapeake.
All right, Brother Rab, what we doing here?
We're fishing. We're getting ready to go out and go fishing.
What time is it?
Let's see. What are we talking about? We're looking at 6:15. I think they go out at 7.
So, is it true that statement, the early bird gets the worm?
I don't know about
Is
that.
it the early fisherman gets the fish?
Well, the early fisherman gets the best spot on the boat. Hopefully.
Fishing on the Chesapeake has always been a big economic, social event, and African Americans were an integral part of it. Many of them actually began to provide fishing trips for people that lived in the cities. They would come down from New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore. Some would come up from the Virginia area. And so it was really watermen, I would say, that found a way to diversify in order to stay in business, and they began carrying out fishing parties.
Then I remember the first party that I had, it was a fellow named Brown from East Baltimore. He was on his way to Ocean City and he stopped by the club. My father had wanted to get some information on about going fishing. So I talked to him. So the next week he came down and I took him out fishing. And he caught so many fish until he went back and told some of his friends. And they began to call me, and that's how I got started.
Well, the story of blacks on the Chesapeake began in the 1619 down in Jamestown, Virginia, that the first people of color that came to our shores were in Jamestown, and they were indentured servants. And so the whole story of blacks and African American life on the Chesapeake began in Jamestown, Virginia. And after that, just through the slave trade and Middle Passages and on up to today, the Chesapeake Bay has been a waters of despair and a waters of hope.
Hope and despair, two opposite concepts that have existed side by side on the bay, as watermen, fishermen, and beachgoers out for a swim take a chance on the water, the weather, and the changing temperament of the Chesapeake Bay. The Chesapeake Bay is located just off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean and is surrounded by Maryland and Virginia. With a watershed covering over 64,000 square miles, it is the largest estuary in the United States, with more than 150 rivers that drain into it from 6 states: New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia. About 200 miles long, the bay stretches from the Susquehanna River in the north down to the Atlantic Ocean in the south, and is spanned in only 2 places: by the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel in Virginia, connecting Virginia Beach to Cape Charles, and by the Chesapeake Bay Bridge in Maryland, crossing from Sandy Point near Annapolis to Kent Island.
Right here from this harbor at Kenton, there are about 8 to 10 head boats that go out daily. We're all black captains here at this facility here at Kenton.
When they say the head boat, it means that each individual was charged a separate rate. It might be from $20 to $40 per person. So they refer to it as a head boat, and so you charge by the head.
You can bring your own tackle or you can rent tackle on the head boats, but you don't have to make appointments. They go daily, and you just be there at a certain time, pay your money, and go fishing.
With the charter boats, they might make the boat available for $400 to $600 a day, depends on what the fisheries are. And that way you could limit who you were fishing with, but you'd have to take responsibility for paying for the full cost of the charter. So that's the real difference between a head boat versus charter boat.
Another early morning at the Kent Narrows dock finds the Miss Violet, ready to begin her day with a dedicated angler, already in position at the back of the boat.
My name's Keisha Grant.
So what kind of fish you like to catch?
Big ones. Spot, croakers, striped bass, whatever's biting, I like to catch it. So.
So what are you planning to pull out of the bait this morning?
They're telling me we're gonna catch some perch, maybe some rockfish. I don't know about any blues being left around, but that's about it.
We don't do any rock fishing. We catch rock sometime while you're bottom fishing, but it's kind of unusual to get many rock on these head boat fishing trips. We do primarily bottom fishing.
When you're bottom fishing, we are quite a few people that don't put enough weight on for the line to go to the bottom, and quite a lot of times the mate would go around and check people's line to make sure that they have the right weight on to go to the bottom to catch the fish.
Get your name, sir.
David. How you doing?
David what, please?
Hawkins.
So why you get up so early to come fishing?
Come to beat my buddy here, Kevin, and fishing. Number 1 in fishing. We got a competition going. Come to teach him a few more things about fishing.
See, he's trying to get a head start. I want everybody to know we haven't even left the dock yet, and he's trying to get a head start on me. This is the way Dave cheats. This is his way of cheating. Using my rod to cheat with, but you know, my rod is used to me, so it won't never hook on there. I hope never hook right now. You know, I just love it, man. Why fish? I don't know. I guess it's a curiosity of seeing what's on the other end of that line when you pull it in. You know, but
Yep.
it's real relaxing.
Basically, because you never know, once you drop your line in the water, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, you always got the enthusiasm the big one's going to bite. So you always try to go out and say, okay, it's today going to be the day when the big one bites. So when you get the real big one, it'll make your day. I mean big one, I mean like that. Not little guppies like Kevin catch like that, but we talking about big ones like that. So basically, I've come out here just to show him the techniques of how to catch fish. See, what he do is go to the market and buy the fish, and then go home and say, I got all these fish. But I'm the true fisherman, as you will see today. So I'm going to give him a few techniques of taking some fish home.
With bottom fishing, you catch most all kind. You have rockfish, you have fish called spot, then you have white perch, yellow perch, and flounder, and bluefish. And most of it, they will bite on bloodworms or nightcrawler.
bloodworms, night crawlers, peeler crab, shrimp, and squid. But the basic bait, the best one we use for bottom fishing for spot, perch, and croaker or bloodworm.
Best fish for us is the spot fish. We have more people come out of Philadelphia to catch spots, the big spots, than we do any other time. Spot is our drawing card. If we got spot, we can make a decent living. If we don't have spot, we just have to struggle.
Daryl. Yeah, Daryl, we normally go with Daryl.
Yeah.
We've been out with Daryl like, I've been with, like, this is my 5th trip going out with him.
Probably like my 12.
Every time he took us out, first he drops, he drop your lines. We've always been on fishing and everything, so I'm very pleased with the captain. And normally runs like from 7 in the morning, he pulls out and gets back to 2 o'clock. It's about like a 7 to 8 hour day of fishing, relaxation on the water and everything. And then you get back to the dock, and I'm the winner, 2nd place, 3rd place. Uncover your head, be on camera. 4th place. He just.
I'll be in 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, oh, she was there. Oh, man, I don't know what time it is now.
Yeah, well, he's just going to be there. And this is our late.
That's Baltimore. Baltimore. That's Captain's brother.
Oh, yeah. This is the size I catch, okay? Not this small. He's going to go way out there, Cap. Way out there, see? You see how big that is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a big one, okay?
At 7 o'clock a.m., it's time to shove off as the anglers in back prepare for an extraordinary day of fishing on the bay.
Right there in my GPS, I just program an area where we're going at first.
There's a rush of adrenaline as the engines rev up and the boat pulls away from the dock. You are going fishing, and anticipation is high as you head out for deeper waters and hopefully the biggest and hungriest fish in the bay. Some say that working on the water is in the blood, and Captain Darrell Roy has been running a boat on the bay since he was 15 years old. For him, like many others, it's a family affair being carried on from generation to generation.
How long you been a captain, Captain Roy?
I've been certified about 20 years now.
What got you into the business?
Well, follow the footsteps, I guess. He's been on the water about 50-some years. And I just took in, following him, I guess.
But I got 4 sons. I got 7 sons all total, but I got 4 that's on the water. And they was raised up on the water. They came up from 9, 10 years old, so they got into it. Some of them, don't want to do anything but that. My son Darrell is a gardener by trade. He captains in the summer, and he goes carpentry in the winter.
Well, I enjoy the water, being out here for one thing. And once that get in your blood, it's hard to get it out.
So what do you do when you're not on the water?
I do some construction. Well, I used to scuba dive for oysters out here. But the oyster industry is, there's no oysters anymore, and they don't want to pay you nothing for them. We get, same thing now, we get the price-wise for oysters they were getting 20 years ago. And there are any oysters. That's one reason why I got out of that.
I'll be in a minute. Open the cooler, baby. We put these doubles on here. Since my partner Dave down there ain't gonna do nothing. Look, see? I want you to say it. Look up, okay?
My name is Vanessa Pearson. I like fish because I don't eat meat.
You got any special ways you cook it?
No, I fry it, I bake it, I grill them, I'll blacken them. Kroger's my favorite.
You ever jerk and get some jerk seasoning?
Yes, jerk on the grill is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The end of a fishing day on the bay is bittersweet. You've enjoyed a good day on the water and hopefully caught lots of fish. But there's still the long boat ride back to the dock and then the even longer drive back home. But your day is still not over until you've cleaned all those fish.
You want to come over here, huh?
There you go. Put it in your bucket.
Go ahead, put it right in that bucket. and onto the truck.
We got on Kent Narrow fishing. We've got a bunch of white perch, catfish, white perch. Out amongst of us, Chesapeake won the battle. First place. Second place. I hate to do it.
You're gonna have to.
Third place. Last but least, me. Came in last, but we had a marvelous day. Water was rough first thing in the morning, but we headed north, a little more calmer water. And then we started catching fish, and it was a good day. So, come out and enjoy Kent Narrow. Come see our Captain Darrell. 7 days a week? 7 days. 7 days a week. Hey! See, everybody's fishing, everybody enjoying the day. Good day on the water.
But how many good days remain for the anglers and watermen of the Chesapeake Bay? Because of pollutants from municipal and industrial wastewaters, mercury and toxins being spewed from power plants, and animal waste and fertilizers being washed into the bay every day, many say that the bay is dying.
Well, my time is about over with now, but I don't think too much of it for the young man. I tell you. So I never really got my kids into getting interested in working on the water because I saw it was a dying business 20 years ago.
What really finished the oyster business off when they went to commercial scuba diving. It was too efficient. You know, in 1950 they came through. Instead of harvesting them by hand tongs or dredges, we went into commercial diving, and it was, to my notion, it was just too efficient because when you're down there looking at them, you can pick them all up. If you got to dredge them, you just get what you're able to get with the dredge or the oyster tong. But these, when they would scuba diving, they just went down there and picked them all up, and eventually you took up all the oysters that were there reproducing and everything. You took them all. Where you found, you didn't leave any little one or anything, they just took them all.
As far as I can see, they have, commercial have nets, and there's no limit on what they can catch. And with one fish, they have a limit on, and that's the rockfish. I think each one that have license, they're allowed to keep 200 pounds of rock a day when the season ends. Now, the rockfish is the only one I know that have a limit. Now you take the croakers and the perch and all other different kind of fish, they catch all they want. And as long as they can do that, the fish are going to get scarce and scarce every year. It should have a limit on all the fish that they catch.
Well, I think it is very important that we really get all of the stakeholders involved in trying to preserve and conserve the Chesapeake Bay. Because if things continue the way they are, with the fisheries of the bay declining, the regulation of the bay increasing, the impact with growth and development, I mean, what we really want is a healthy Chesapeake Bay, because it's really going to fuel the economy. Right now, we see signs of the decline on the bay on a way of life that I don't think will ever return again. The watermen of the Chesapeake. And it's a particular tragic story for the black watermen of the Chesapeake, because that was a story that's just beginning to be told. At the same time, the resources are declining. The thing I think that would kill the black watermen more than anything else is, say, from now on, you have to be a greeter at Walmart. I mean, these guys have lived an independent life on that Chesapeake Bay, and to take them off the water, it would just really be tragic.
If I had to do it again, I guess I would do the same thing. It's been an independent job, and I really enjoyed it. I've seen good days, I've seen bad days.
It's been a good life, but I've worked, like I say, 50 some years on the water, and it's been a good life.
Been a good living, you know. Also, I raised 8 kids, put them all through school doing it, and it's a very few watermen that retire. They don't have that many benefits by being self-employed and all that, and most of them work till they get the age I am or older. They work till they can't go any longer. So that's why I'm still into the business, because I need the money.
I'm not going to retire, I'm just going to expire. I'm not going to retire.
Well, one of the things that I really want my personal legacy and my organization's legacy is to pass on the spirit of the Chesapeake Bay. One old waterman told me one time, Vince, that God can turn that Chesapeake Bay around any day and any time it wants, and if man just gets out of nature's way. And so one of the things I really hope is working with children. I really think children are the future of the Chesapeake. They might not be watermen, but they can be marine scientists, they can be biologists, they can be oceanographers. They can be involved in all aspects of the industry, because I think it's the young people that are really going to help unlock the secret of the Chesapeake Bay. How to find the balance between man and nature, how to find the balance between the farmer and the urban dweller, because it's almost like a hubcap. Until we all can just tap gently around the Chesapeake Bay, we're never going to solve it, because if you bang on one side, the other side is going to pop out. And so my hope and my prayer is that we expose the young people to this wonderful resource. Let them know the history, let them know the future, and help them capture the spirit of the Chesapeake Bay.
Good fish.